All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for attending my session today in our Oklahoma CTE Summer Conference, virtual conference, of course, that is. This presentation today for you guys is all on how to create an entertaining presentation, how to create lessons, social distancing, social distancing, or on Google Classroom, or basically in any kind of format that your students can get access to, whether we're doing virtual learning, whether we're doing in-classroom learning and you happen to be sick that day, or students happen to be sick that day, whatever else, whatever the need is for. This is a presentation for you to know how to apply cutting-edge technology to the classroom. My name is Jeff Bishop, and I am a teacher at Putnam City West High School in Putnam City, Oklahoma. And I'm really excited to be here today. Really excited to be here today. A little bit of free and cheap advertising. If you haven't seen my other series, I did another video a lot like this one on how to create your own video game design or computer animation program at your local school. How to get the software, the hardware, how to get permission, funding, basically anything else that you might want to need or would like to know to create a computer animation or video game design department. I teach at Putnam City West High School. I started the computer animation video game design department there. I also teach web design, programming in C#, advanced programming. I'm going to be teaching video game design very soon as a specific class, and desktop publishing. I'm also the guy that runs the Jumbotron for our football team, and now we're getting a brand new gym at Putnam City West High School, so I'm also going to be running the Jumbotron at our basketball games and for the big events that are basically happening across our school. And the cool thing is I'm getting an opportunity to teach kids how to run all of that, which I'm really excited about. All right, so that's not any of the pieces of information that you came to this presentation for. The reason why you came here is for the simple fact that you, hopefully, like many others, are interested in learning how to create an entertaining presentation. All right, so all my contact information is on here. If you ever have any questions, once again, my name is Jeff Bishop. I am at West. There's my email address, and this is my brand new webpage, paratutor.com. Paratutor.com has thousands of hours of free video online training for you and your students. All right. So, as we get into creating an entertaining presentation, I just have a couple questions for you. First of all, let's talk about Zoom. How amazing is Zoom, right? All right. Is Zoom horrible? By raise of hand, how many guys would say Zoom eats moments of my life that I wish I could get back? I would definitely say that. All right. From there, could it easily be replaced? Because I don't know, once I did about the fourth or fifth faculty meeting this summer, I was like, oh my gosh, there's got to be better software out there than this. Is there a better way to reach our students? I happen to think, yeah, really, please, I'm begging. All right, can I record my own lessons? Absolutely, on paratutor.com and my old webpage, digitalfxtbook.com or digitalfxbook.com. I create all of my lessons in a video format where students can physically watch me work on the computer, and they see exactly what I'm doing, and they can see the lesson. They can, and so they can interact. They can build with me as I go through the lesson. I record all my lessons for all the school year, and students think, from what I can tell, all of my students absolutely love the opportunity to be able to see the information and be able to do it themselves. It's a really effective medium. We'll talk a little bit more about video a little bit later. All right, so back over here. All right, so can you record your own lessons? Yes, absolutely. I think, honestly, that COVID-19 or pandemic, whether you love it or hate it or whatever else, I think it has dealt education kind of a foundational blow that I'm not sure that we'll ever recover from. More students are signing up right now for Epic charter schools than just about anything else. You know, America now kind of has in their mindset that we don't have to go to a building anymore. All right. So if you did want to start recording your own lessons, how in the world would you get started? You know, how would you get started? What would you do? All right, well, let's get to it. Well, to me, how awful is Zoom? So why should it be replaced? Well, first of all, my son is in the military. And as my son is in the military, he's up in the Seattle, Washington area. Did you know that the military considers Zoom malware? Like it's damaging for your computer? Yeah. And everybody's just randomly running to it. So, you know, is it safe? How many times do we hear all throughout summer of Zoom getting hacked and all kinds of inappropriate stuff popping up on the screen? I'm just not necessarily a fan of Zoom. If you are, man, more power to you. I think that's amazing. Is it entertaining? It's like one single camera angle for eternity. Every once in a while, the assistant principal will jump in there and they will take a hold of the screen and put up some stuff. But, you know, is it truly entertaining? No. And are we entertainers as teachers? No, I think we're teachers first. But if we want to compete in this digital marketplace where almost 70% of online traffic is watching videos, I think it's time that we could become a little more entertaining. All there are alternatives. Absolutely, there are some alternatives. In fact, everything that we're going to discuss today does not have to be used apart from Zoom. You can actually incorporate everything that I'm doing right now, could be incorporated into Zoom, and you would have ultimately all of the control that you need to be able to do whatever you need to do. That's really what I'm here for. Let's not kill Zoom necessarily, but there are alternatives if Zoom is your district approved portal to talk to students that aren't in classrooms. All right. So is there a better way to reach our students? You know, the students have platforms that they get onto. They have platforms that they think are amazing, that they enjoy by themselves, apart from parents or student or teachers or anybody else like that. And you know, it's kind of like I've been wrestling with myself. Should I get an Instagram account? Should I get a Snapchat? So on and so forth. And I think about things like that for the simple fact that, like, students that are leaving my classroom now, 5 years from now, how am I going to be able to keep up with them? Because I really love my kids. I enjoy hanging out with them and talking to them and spending time with them. I have a lot of students that are on Facebook still from yesteryear. That I talk to. They're getting married, they're getting jobs. It's really interesting to kind of keep up with them. And if you're not that teacher, that's totally cool, but I will say you miss out on some things. Like, for example, I recently found out that one of my students, a guy named Trey, recently got the opportunity to pitch a storyboard to Nickelodeon. And he's now driving to LA, probably there by now, but he's driving to LA to work with them. I would have never found that out had he not been on Facebook and I not be on Facebook. So what are some ways that we can reach our students? What are some formats that they work with? Well, I think that there is definitely better ways to reach them. For example, Twitch TV. I am now actually on Twitch TV. One of my former students is on Twitch TV. He's a freelance artist. It's paid ton more money than I ever do, and his uses Twitch TV as basically his main form of marketing and advertising. And so Twitch TV, well, it's generally for watching people play video games. This guy does computer animation, he does logo work and all kinds of stuff like that. It made like $8,000 last month. He told me that. I was like, oh my gosh, wow. So to get into Twitch TV, you have to set up an account. I already have an account, believe it or not. I have Paratutor is an account, is a Twitch channel now on Twitch, just recently set up. I don't have any videos on there yet, but they're coming. You basically, you need a basic setup, which is what I have here in my space. I have a number of different cameras and video sources and different things that I have going on, but I've got basically a little space here that I've created over the past 6 months to a year to be able to do these kind of presentations because I'm trying to reach this audience. And one of the great things about Twitch, honestly, is that Twitch is the one that predominantly pushed forward this style of live creation of content with the overlays that you've seen me switch cameras back and forth a couple of times. I've got this camera here, for example, that I'm talking to directly, and then of course I've got a little GoPro over there, and you can see my desktop. And so there's many different ways to be able to handle media nowadays, and it allows me to kind of be my own studio producer. Really kind of cool. All right, and the great thing is I'm going to be letting you guys behind the curtain today, and you're going to get to see exactly how I do what I do. All right, so you build a basic setup. As soon as you get a basic setup done, from there you can not only stream to Twitch, you can also work on YouTube with some live streaming. You can also do Facebook with live streaming. And my big introduction, honestly, to live streaming on Facebook this year was I was the guy that got the opportunity to make and produce and stream our virtual graduation for Putnam City West. Now, I had our amazing local campus IT guy handling the Facebook side of the streaming, making sure that everything was working there. But all the content for that I created, and I'm still ridiculously proud of it, hence the reason why I'm telling you. All right. So, and then of course we have Google Classroom. So all of the videos and everything that we're creating right now, they can be put on Google Classroom. And in a moment's notice, students can get access to that. They can use it in the classroom. They can use it outside of the classroom. They can use it wherever they want to. And then of course, as you guys know, I have two web pages, paratutor.com and Digital FX Book. Digital FX Book's my old one. It's kind of going away. Paratutor is my new one. And paratutor.com is the one that I basically put all my videos on. And this is my whole brand new setup to do that. All right. Can you record your own lessons? Absolutely. And they can be engaging, entertaining, and filled with all of the information that you want to get out there to your audience. So the truth of the matter is, guys, you have the content. You have the personality. You have the classroom. You have the pulpit and the podium. This is your arena. All I'm trying to do today is just trying to give you guys a more entertaining way to be able to present that information. And so that's what this presentation is all about, is just helping you be state of the art. And as CTE teachers, career and technology education, should we not be state of the art? If you ask me, to not be state of the art means I'm not really doing my job. All right, so from there, you can live stream these presentations or you can pre-record them. Now, the presentation I'm doing right now is not live streamed. I'm actually recording this, although I'm doing it in a streaming format with the interactive camera angles and everything in such a way so that you can see what a video can look like if you created one. All right. So how do you get started? I began to kind of wonder about this myself because as I've been trying to push my medium, push my instruction further, I began to just think to myself, so what are students used to seeing right now? Man, so maybe there is information that I can gather from where they're already getting stuff voluntarily. So with that one simple notion, I began to watch all kinds of videos. I began to watch information about how to stream and how to be on Twitch and all this stuff like that so that I could reach my target audience more effectively. Honestly, guys, it's all about marketing. It really is. All right, so here's some things that you're going to need to have. You're going to need to have a computer. I'm pretty sure you have one. I very much feel like Tony Stark. If I don't have my Iron Man suit, I'm not much of a superhero. My computer is my suit. In fact, I'm building a brand new computer and I'm literally going to call it Jarvis, and it's for my classroom. All right, accounts to wherever you wish to post to. You don't have to be on Twitch. Maybe your district does not approve Twitch. That's fine. Maybe they approve Zoom. Believe it or not, you can do this presentation with Zoom. It's really not that difficult. Facebook, YouTube, wherever, your own web page, Google Classroom, wherever you choose to put this, boom, it's there. So here's a small list of some of the places that you can post to. You're gonna need some video devices because we're gonna need to capture you, okay? Because that ultimately, that's really what it's all about. One of the reasons why I set this camera up specifically, I am very much a teacher and I want to have the opportunity to talk to my students. And one of the reasons why I love to do this stuff streamed, like live streaming, is because it's more personal. It doesn't necessarily feel like this is recorded. I mean, I'm trying desperately to speak to you, and I hope that is coming across. You're gonna, apart from your video devices, you're gonna need some audio devices because you're gonna need, we want to be able to hear you. Not only that, but if you listen carefully, there's some music in the background. You know, I figured, hey, if movies and video games and TV can have their own soundtrack, why shouldn't I? Right? All right. And then a little personal studio. Now, I can tell you when I worked on virtual graduation, I was not in this room. I actually confiscated mine and my wife's closet. We converted a bedroom in our old people house to basically be nothing but a closet. So it's a whole entire room in there. And I had all this equipment set up in there and it was amazing. From there, we have a grandchild that has basically claimed my space in there. And so now I'm in my office. And so my office, you can kind of see around my little space here. I've got some play toys in the background. I want my space to look entertaining. My son recently asked, there it is, right back there. My son recently asked, what is that dark thing back there, Dad? And I was like, it's a Han Solo frozen in carbonite, you know, my Iron Man helmet, so on and so forth. But people like that personal touch of, let me see a little bit into your world. And that's why I'm in my office today. All right. All right. So from there, on your computer, let's just get a little bit more specific. Honestly, when it comes to streaming, you're trying to do a lot of things all at once. So the latest and the greatest are best. Laptops will work. It's a little hard to plug all of the stuff in that you want to plug into your laptop, but they will work. Desktops are so much better because desktops are a workhorse. They're a machine. They handle what you need to do. I'm on a school computer right now that I brought home to be able to work on virtual graduation. Dual screens is best. I have one screen right here that you guys can see. It's the one where I've got all my control software on. And then I also have this screen right here, which right now has my PowerPoint presentation on. And so it's nice to be able to control what I'm doing and be able to see what I'm doing all simultaneously. All right, from there you need a good chair. Boy, we recently got this from like Staples or Office Supply or whatever. It's made by Thermarest, one of the best chairs in the world. Video game chairs aren't necessarily comfortable, so blah. All right, you need to have a computer that has multiple USB connections because that camera is plugged into USB, that camera's plugged in USB. My microphone that's just a touch above my head is USB. So you need to have a number of as many USB connections as possible. Mobile phones for this specific purpose, or devices, tablets, iPads, they're just horrible. You're really not going to be able to do what you need to do. All right, so this right here is a traditional streamer setup. What I meant to say. We're going to talk about all the little pieces and parts in here. So you basically have your microphone, and you've got your microphone boom. Mine is actually between these two monitors, and it's coming up over the top. I do have a little webcam on here. It's a free one that I got from my school district, and it is literally so bad that I'm not even making it part of this presentation because it's so fuzzy, so bad. It's just awful. You gotta have your computer, you got your keyboard, you got your comfortable chair. Notice this person has 3 monitors, so 1, 2, and then 3, and then this one's turned sideways. All of your chat, let's say for example, you're streaming your content to Twitch, students are watching you, they can actually make comments over here and it pops up right there, and then you can answer that question right then, right there. Absolutely amazing, just amazing. So I always use this monitor here for me as my control monitor, and then this is where I work, okay? From there, you'll notice the great lights. They've got a big light up here. We've got another light over here. This kind of double illuminates your face. So we're going to talk about lights today as well. You've got video sources. So you've got a little camera right here, little webcam right there. And then he's got some stuff in this space to just kind of make him look interesting. All right, so let's talk video devices. You can actually use mobile devices to capture video, and it's actually kind of cool because as you use your mobile device, which everybody has them, districts hand out iPads and so forth. You can actually get a little stand for them, set them up, and they can act as a nice little video source for you. And it's particularly effective. I've seen a number of videos on YouTube that do that in there, and you know the quality is really not that bad. Really not that bad. You know, of course, and it depends on the generation of the camera, or whatever. All right. From there, webcams. These are the absolute cheapest ways to get in as a video source. There are some really good webcams out there. We'll talk about those here in just a couple seconds, but they're generally the cheapest. From there, GoPros. You right now are currently looking at me on a GoPro 4. GoPro 4. The current ones that are at Walmart right now are like 8s or 9s. This camera was literally produced almost 5 to 10 years ago, and it outshines a webcam like nobody's business. You can pick up these little GoPros all over Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or eBay, and they're going for pennies on the dollar nowadays. And they have such a beautiful wide angle lens. You guys can see pretty much all my space behind me. And they're really, really good video source. A DSLR camera. DSLR camera is basically just a regular little camera that you guys are used to seeing. So this is a brand new one I just got from my classroom. And a really cool thing about using a DSLR camera, generally on the side of it right here, you're gonna have an opportunity to plug a cord in here. And as you plug the cord in there, you can actually run that right to you can run it through a couple devices we'll talk about to your computer. Set this up on a little stand. I've got a little stand here as an example as well. So this is just like a little teeny tiny goofy little camera stand. You can actually screw this to the bottom of your camera, set it up there, which is, well, I've got my really, really amazing camera on, and boom, you've got a nice little way to take care of things. So this right here is basically your adapter that plugs into the side of the camera, and this right here is basically it just goes from super tiny HDMI to a regular HDMI cord. You run that HDMI cord into a little guy like this. We're definitely going to talk about this guy. This has got to be one of the most amazing products that I've found recently. And in this, it takes HDMI in the back and boom, USB up front. So now your GoPro, this is how I'm running my in fact, my little GoPro is running off of one of these right now. My really big, amazing camera that you're looking at me through right now is running off of a fancier version of this amazing little HDMI card, HDMI capture card. We'll talk about that here in just a couple seconds. You plug a couple of things in like that, bada boom, bada bing, you're up, you're running, and man, I mean, everything is looking really, really great. All right, so we were on DSLR cameras, video cameras. Now I have, because I run the Jumbotron for Putnam City West, I have access to 2 4K video cameras. Oh, goodness gracious. Look at this hulking beast. It is absolutely, bar none, amazing. This is what my students are going to be walking around on the football field with and filming live. You do not have to have this puppy. I have 2 of them because, once again, I do run the Jumbotron for Putnam City West. And not only do I run the Jumbotron, but I also handle the students that do all the production for our football games and so forth. So we have those. I have not plugged it in yet because honestly, you don't need it. I mean, it's super expensive. It broadcasts out in 4K, which is amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's a really incredible camera. But I don't have to go and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on this. I mean, that's really the whole point of what I want to do. All right, here's some great accessories for you. You want to have some AC power adapters. So this little guy right here is the one that I use to plug my little GoPro in. It just plugs into the back little spot on the GoPro, and now I don't have to use batteries. I don't have to use batteries. They don't run out on me. I'm about to get one of these for my really amazing camera that you're looking at me through. And so this was really awesome. And it was like $15-20. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. Amazon, I got right off Amazon. I wish I had an adapter like that, honestly, for my really nice camera, but I just don't have it yet. It's getting there. It's getting there. I say I'm still a work in process as well. All right. So power adapters, HDMI capture cards. I have talked about this a couple of times before. HDMI the capture cards are absolutely amazing. In fact, let me switch back to this real quick. So here is my HDMI capture card. It's gonna be backwards in the video. You gotta love it. All right, this puppy right here, you can get it off Amazon. It's like 25 bucks, and this replaces the really fancy capture card that I have. That was $299, which is the Elgato. And Elgato, you're gonna hear me say that a lot because Elgato is realistically the forerunner of this industry. Man, they do all kinds of amazing stuff. But with this and this, you can now plug in, try to make sure everything's clean. You can plug in your camera with an HDMI cord to this, and boom, it all plugs into your computer. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, so there's my Elgato cam card that I was talking about. Now from there, you got the latest, the cheap one. This one comes off Amazon, and you know, I'm a school teacher. I don't have tons and tons of money. I need to be able to do what I need to do. All right, then you're gonna need some HDMI cords. Then you need little tripods, kind of like I showed you earlier. You got this little cute tripod like that. This one actually came with, I have 3 or 4 GoPros in my room for my students, and it came as kind of like part of the overall kit. And I was like, ooh, I need those. So I brought a couple of them home to be able to do what we're doing right now. All right, so here are some really, 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 really great examples of some cameras. All right. So right up here is by far the best webcam out there. It has a really, really large sensor in the back of it so that you can capture the best image possible. And if you're going to get a webcam, I'm going to suggest you go with one of these. Logitech C920, they have a smaller version of it. It's a little lower number, and it's really particularly amazing. Then you've got my little Hero 4 GoPro that you've been looking at me through. It's been my big wide angle shot. And then this is the one that you haven't seen yet. It is a regular Canon EOS SL2 Rebel. And this thing is amazing. I sadly got the wrong lens for the front of it, but the right lens, when I get it, will make the background blurry and make the foreground super sweet so that I get this really, really nice cinematic effect in my videos. All right, here's some audio devices for you. So, the first thing we need to talk about is if you're gonna get some, you got to have an audio device to be able to do what you need to do. So let's talk about microphones. When I first got started, I was just an idea. It was about 10 years ago that I started recording videos of my lessons for my students. I didn't know. I mean, I was used to those little Microsoft piece of garbage microphones that you would like clip to your shirt kind of thing. Any old people in the audience? You know, this little cord that would run down and stick into your monitor. Well, once upon a time, there was a guy that came home and his daughter was working with one of those, and he was like, "What is that?" She goes, "Well, that's my microphone." He goes, "Let me listen to the quality." He played it for him. She goes, He goes to work the next day, and he happened to be the owner of a microphone company called Blue Microphone. He walked in and he tossed that little piece of junk on the desk, and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the highest quality microphone for computers." And everybody's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "We just entered the computer market." That company, Blue, produces basically all the microphones I use. They are phenomenal. So we have 2 different kinds of microphones. We have USB microphones. We have XLR. The USB microphone is the kind of microphone you'd be used to. It's a microphone that the cord that runs out of it, it looks a lot like your printer cable. It's that weird USB that's almost like a square but with the chopped off corners. And then on the other side of it that plugs into the back of your monitor, it's actually a regular USB cable. The two microphones that are out there that honestly are the best are Snowball and Yeti, both made by the Blue Company. Snowball's the one that I worked with for easily 10 years, recording my own little lessons. It looks like a little snowball. I'll show you here a picture in just a couple seconds. It stands on a little stand, and I would basically set that right in front of me and have it right in front of my mouth, and got some of the best quality audio that I've gotten ever. I mean, Snowballs are amazing computers. I mean, amazing microphones. They're really, really great. Yeti came in to kind of be the newer version of it. All right, then you got an XLR. Now, a lot of people don't know what an XLR cable is. So let me basically describe the difference to you. XLR, if you're ever at church and you see the microphones that the people use up on church, they have that big, it's like silver, and it goes to a thick black cable that runs out, and then generally runs to either the soundboard or in most churches runs to a snake that then takes the signal back to the guys that are running sound. An XLR cord is a standard microphone cord. So realistically, what you're getting right now is you're getting an XLR quality, a professional quality microphone for your computer. Now, there are a number of companies that make XLR microphones for computers, namely Blue, and they are particularly amazing. But if you've ever noticed, you can't plug one of those microphones into your computer because they're about that big around at the end of them, and they got three little prongs in the center it plugs in. So what we have to do is we basically have to do like what we did with our little HDMI capture card. We run one cable into a deal, and then we run the USB out of the deal. It plugs into our computer. So XLR is a little bit more work, but the quality that you get from it is just phenomenal. You are listening to me right now on an XLR microphone. I have basically repented of my days when I used to use my little Snowball microphone. And I love my little Snowball, but I've just gotten better. So the one that you're listening to me on right now is a Blue Ember. They also have a Spark out there that's just amazing. I see all the big YouTubers and streamers that basically use Sparks, and I'm kind of interested. The one that seems to be replacing Blue Ember and Spark is by a company called Rhodes, and Rhodes microphone is making a huge dent. They're kind of, I don't know if they've been around forever. I'm generally not an audio guy, but they're making massive impacts in the streaming market. All right, so from there, when you've got one of these, a Blue Ember or a Spark, you're going to need an XLR mixer board. This is a lot like the little mixer board that you would see at church. The guy in the background has a mixer that all these different cables come into, usually from microphones and guitars and whatnot. And then he adjusts the sound on them to get exactly what he wants. This is one of the reasons why XLR microphones are the best, because I can actually run my music off of it. I can run my microphone off of it. I can run my headphones off of it. I can also, there's voice modulation that I can do in here, and it kicks in all kinds of stuff like phantom power. And I mean, and it's super easy. I mean, you don't even have to be an audio guy. I'm not one. I'm a computer guy. You don't have to know all that fancy stuff. The board does it for you, which is really, really sweet. All right, so you got an XLR mixer. And probably at this point in time, you're kind of like, well, too much equipment. You just keep, you just hammering me with information. That's okay. This is a video. You can go back and watch it a bunch of times. And once again, it will be on paratutor.com. All right. So out of all the mixer boards that are out there, there's the Go XLR mixer. Then we have accessories that you're going to need for your audio sources. You're going to need a little stand, cables, pop shields. Pop shields are basically kind of like a little deal that goes over the microphone itself. If you say like that, it softens that sound. That's why it's called a pop shield. And then of course a shock mount. And I will show you why you need a shock mount. I'm about to take my hand right here and I'm gonna thump the desk. You can hear that in the microphone. Why? Because I do not have a shock mount on my microphone right now. And so all that stuff comes through because the reverberation goes through the stand up into the microphone. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so in this shot, what you can see, we've got my favorite little blue snowball microphone. These come in about 3 or 4 different colors. I've had all mine have been white. And I love these things. You got the little tiny red light on the top when it's plugged in and it's working. Thing is just ridiculously sweet. I love that little microphone. This is kind of its replacement, Blue Yeti. And this one here might actually be an XLR microphone. If you'll notice the big bass around the bottom of it. So actually that's probably not a USB there as well. I haven't had a chance to mess with these. Everybody suggests if you're going to get one of these, just go up into one of the other ones. Blue Ember is the one that I currently have on my computer. It's what you're listening to me with. And I have a little pop shield in front of it. This is pretty much the mic that I'm thinking about going to. Got a bigger condenser, which means it picks up the sound better. And you'll notice this weird cage around it. This microphone looks a lot like this. It just has the big lollipop on the top. This cage that is around it is the shock mount. And once again, if I did that to my desk, it won't transmit through as well because realistically, it's held in place by these little elastics, and any bumps doesn't necessarily transmit through that. And then of course you've got your little mic. This is where it plugs into the mic stand, and then the cable comes out the bottom. This is kind of where I'm wanting to go. Now, these are really awesome little mics. All right. So this is what your Go XLR mixer looks like. This is the one that I have in front of me. It's right over here. If you can see it, it's kind of this little baby right there. Love that little guy. I currently have a microphone running through this one. Music runs through this one, and then you got 2 others for other devices. And then all of this stuff up here, honestly, like I don't even touch or play with that side. But this gives you all kinds of really neat special effects as you know, if I wanted to sound more manly, kind of have more bass, or if I wanted to, whatever, sound high and squeaky, you can do all that stuff in here. It's really pretty cool. And then what they did recently was they boiled all this technology down to a smaller little guy right here. And this is a Go XLR Mini. All right. From there, you're going to need some lights. If you study anything about photography, they always talk about the 3-point light setup. You take your kids to go have yearbook photos every once in a while, if not every single year, and I generally always have 3 lights. If you'll notice, so I'm going to switch cameras right over here. If you'll notice, I have one of the lights set up for you in the background. That little guy right back there is a photographic umbrella light. Now notice that the light is pointed towards the umbrella, and then from there, light bounces back off of it across me. I actually have one of those lights right now working. It is what is illuminating this side of my face. And it's set actually back behind my computer. From there, I don't have all 3 lights running right now, but I do have a ring light right over here. I absolutely adore the way ring lights look, especially when it's in your face, because it illuminates your face so beautifully and gives you this really cool little light halo on the front of your eyeballs. I just think it's like the coolest thing in the whole world. And it's really cheap. It's like $20. Then you got the Elgato cam light, key light. This is one I want to go to. Instead of having my umbrella that I have right back here, I like to actually right up here on top of this monitor have a little light that kind of fills in my light. Elgato makes some of the best products out there. And then you got my little photography umbrella, this little guy right back here. And by the way, it's not on. I should turn it on, but I didn't want to have this ridiculously bright light source right there. All right, you got Amazon LED lights. LED lights are really, really amazing because you can put them up in your background, in your environment, to kind of create some interesting effects. I'll show you that here in just a couple seconds. All right, then you got LED background lights. And when I say Amazon LEDs, that Elgato light that I was telling you about, it's pretty expensive. It's like a couple $100. You can get Amazon LEDs and they're a lot cheaper. And generally LEDs are LEDs, so they work. All right. So here's the setup once again. This one right here is, this is the Neewer ring light that I absolutely adore. I have that little puppy right over here, right behind a GoPro. And it did come with these different filters. It comes with a little case, blah, blah, blah. Literally, I only set this light up. And these little ring lights are really, really popular for ladies that do makeup because the light setup, go back, the light setup right here is so well balanced in a broad area. You can do your makeup and not miss spots because of crazy shadows. So they're actually really, really popular. This right over here is the Elgato cam key light. I keep wanting to say cam. The Elgato key light, and the Elgato key light is the one that I want to set right up over here on top of my monitor. You can kind of see, if you look up there, that bright craziness going on right there. That is the back of that photo umbrella. All right. So once again, here's their basic setup. They've got two lights up there. They're generally going to have a light behind them, out of the way so the camera doesn't see it. I purposely kind of put that little guy back there behind us so that you could see the light because I wanted to kind of illustrate it to you. All right, software. This is really simple. When we did Putnam City West's virtual graduation this year, I went in and I used OBS, Open Broadcasting Software. This is amazing because it's free. One more time, free. And it does everything that you want it to do. That's how I am honestly controlling everything over here on the screen. And you see me look every once in a while. I have a cute little Stream Deck over here. We kind of pull her out. You'll get to see a better shot of it here in just a little bit. And just by tapping a little button on my little Stream Deck, I can switch my camera angles. And I can actually control what happens in OBS through that little Stream Deck. It's absolutely amazing. All right, this is the one that I've currently updated to. I used to use OBS. I'm now using Streamlabs OBS because it's just better for the type of presentation that I'm doing right now. Then from there, I used to use software called Screencast-O-Matic. One of the best monitor capturing programs. Actually lets you do a little bit of edit. It can capture your microphone and it pretty much puts it all together, exports out a little video. Screencast-O-Matic, though, does have a cost. Hence the reason why I'm working with OBS and Streamlabs OBS. All right, control surfaces, and that's my little Stream Deck. That's one of the things we're going to be talking about next. My Stream Deck is absolutely amazing because you can go in super easy and you can have your little Stream Deck on one button actually go in and do what you would do as a keyboard shortcut in your computer. So if I'm working in Windows and I want to do Control-C, Control-V, I can actually just set two buttons up to do that, Control-C, Control-V. Or I can have one button do both simultaneously. So I could push one button, it copies and pastes, boom, like that. So no longer am I doing this weird funky hand thing, we all got going on. Boom, one button and it does it. With OBS, it handles all my different scenes. It handles all my different camera shots and so forth. And so it's really, really, really amazing. The producer of that is Elgato. And they have the regular Stream Deck, which is what I have. And then they have the Elgato Stream Deck XL, which I'm going to try and get this school year. And I will run my regular Stream Deck over here, my extra large Stream Deck over here. And believe it or not, within Elgato has figured it out in their software so that I can run both of them simultaneously, and they don't interfere with one another. In fact, they work synergistically. So this is what my little Stream Deck looks like. This is the one that I have. All of these are the individual little buttons that you can push. You can actually go in the menu and you can set your little graphics behind each one of these each one of these little buttons. So if you'll notice, these buttons here don't match those buttons up there, and they're backlit. So I can tell exactly what I'm pushing, and they have an on and off. So if it's not in that view, when I push it, the graphic changes. It's absolutely amazing. Imagine all of the keyboard shortcuts that you ever use, open it up. I have an internet tab. It'll open up Chrome. It'll open up any of my emails. It'll open up Facebook. It'll open up my district webpage. It'll open up Paratutor.com. It'll open up Weebly, Digital FX Book. It'll open up all of that stuff like that with just single button pushes. And then I put the little icons in there so that when I quick look at it, boom, I know exactly what I'm about to engage. All right. So now that you've got your equipment, let's say you go out and you get a camera. right? So I've got my little camera right here. Let's say you get your camera. Man, congratulations. That's huge. You get a little microphone, whether it be a $50 snowball, which I absolutely adore, or you get you like a high dollar rig with a mixer and all that good stuff like that. You get you a couple lights and you're ready to go, right? So now you have to have a look. If you haven't seen by now, I have a look. Not only do I have a look, I have different cameras that I can set up. So you've seen this. So you've seen my up close and personal camera. And then from there, I have this camera right here, which is where, we're doing work. So now you can see my monitor, you can see what I'm doing here. And simultaneously, you can see the little Hero, GoPro. And then I have this one right here. And this one right here is basically the same shot, but all I want to do is I just want to show you what I'm doing full screen. I don't have any overlays on it. I don't have any craziness going on or any cameras in your face. Boom, you can just see what's going on. From there, we have my 3-camera shot, and I set all this up so I can actually go in and I can change the look itself, or I can change this camera, the position on the screen or whatnot. I can change this one. I can import more cameras because I've thought about actually putting a camera right above my keyboard so students can see what I'm doing. I also thought about having another camera behind me so that they can see what's on my monitors and they can see my keyboard and everything else like that, so they get a full view of exactly how to do what I'm doing. So you need to look. If you'll notice, and I haven't showed you all my screens because I'm gonna keep at least one of them to myself. But anyway, you need to look. So, and by the way, that little stinger transition animation, it's all set into OBS. So it automatically does that for me. That's really kind of cool looking. So how do you get a look? Well, you can go to Nerd or Die, which we're going to do this here in just a couple seconds. Owned 3D. I think I actually misspelled that because there's no E in there. And then from there, Place It, which I love that page. And then the brand new one that's just recently come out, which is Videos. And Videos is got some amazing stuff. I'm probably going to become a subscriber to them. They have got some amazing, just blew me away kind of amazing stuff. Spend an hour or two on a computer, you can have a custom animation with all the transitions, and you click it and it plays at the very beginning. It's incredible stuff. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a little bit. All right. So what I want to show you right now is pretty awesome, because we're going to go to the web page and we're going to go to the internet. And what I want to do is I want to show you all some stuff that's out there. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen, this is Twitch. This is one of my former students. This is his channel. He just posted this video a day or two ago, 3 days ago. And this is him working in the programs that I taught him how to work. And the specific part that I wanted to show you is his introduction animation, because when you get a look, you need to have, it's branding, it's marketing. You want to have a specific thing that you've got going on. It's pretty incredible. All right, so here we go. You ready? We're going to switch. And I'm going to pull this up full screen. And then this is my student's channel. So he's got his small little, in 5 minutes, this whole thing starts. And give it just a couple of seconds.
Exhale. That's right, the earth keeps spinning on its own. Just allow yourself now to relax. Relax.
I'm so proud of him. So this is his little Twitch channel. That is his introduction animation into his feed. I'm going to go ahead and drop the sound back down to his channel. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about some other stuff. All right, so we're right there. All right. So from here, he goes in. You'll see his basic setup. He's actually animated these 3D views. This is him working, obviously, in Photoshop or Illustrator, like Photoshop. And then you can see his keyboard shot. You can see his shot just like my GoPro shot. And then, of course, you can see behind him, which I really think is kind of cool. And then he can switch cameras back and forth, too. So that's Twitch. It's pretty awesome. All right, now let me show you a couple other things. We're going to be finished. All right, so this is nerdordie.com. This is where I got my my look, basically the way that my screen looks. That little animation right there. This is where I got it from. Mine's on like page 2, 2 or 3. Where's it at? I didn't plan on doing this. I think it's page 3. Page 3 is where mine is. And yeah, it's in here. I promise it's in here somewhere. All right. So, and I'm being thrown off because I went in and I changed the colors. So anyway, you can look at any of these, and I think they're amazing because if we were to go to the package itself, and these cost anywhere between $10 to $30, and you can get them for free. I'm about to show you some free ones. So this is basically the look that you would get. Let me turn your sound back up. They have these interactive camera deals around it. This is the background that you get, and yes, it's all animated. All the words on there are all easily changeable. When you get comments, let's say, for example, you're doing a video on Twitch or whatever, and students can comment on your video. This pops up on the screen. You can see it automatically. Really pretty cool. There's a couple other different ways to make it look. So this is basically the introduction screen, and that's the transition that you just saw, the stinger transition between one thing and another. And then these are your different cameras that you get, and so forth. So for $10 to $30, you can get your own little stream package. And the beautiful thing about the way that it works with Streamlabs OBS is as soon as you get a package like that, you can then go in and you basically download all zip files, unzip them, and then boom, they import right directly into Streamlabs OBS, and then you can go in and you can change everything up. If you look at my screen right there, you can see I've got the little scrolling background. Yes, I made it say paratutor.com. I did that in Photoshop, and in Educational Redefined because that's really kind of where I'm heading towards my YouTube channel, my Facebook, and then I'm about to put other ones on there as well. Because obviously I'm a Twitch guy now as well. Twitch. All right. I know somebody in the background made that joke at least once already. So anyway, you can load your deal in, and then from there you can control this inside of Streamlabs OBS. All right. So let me show you another thing. So from there, we also have the other one. This is owned.tv. And yes, I did have an extra E right there. For some reason, I had the little E. All right, so Own 3D, and they do all kinds of Twitches and overlays, and they have all kinds of really cool stuff too. This one right here is a new one that I'm absolutely in love with, placeit.net. And there's all different kinds of slideshow presentations that you can do. You can actually hover over it and it'll show you exactly what it's going to look like when it's on screen. Of course, all the words and everything you can put in, so you don't have to have a fancy logo like I do. I mean, I went in Photoshop and I made one. You can have your own little, you can really, realistically, honestly, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help you get your own teacher channel started. I mean, why not? Why should we not be impacting the industry and not the other way around? So you got some particularly amazing stuff on here. All right. This one's the new one that I'm super excited about. This one's all about videos. You can go in, you can watch the video on this. I mean, they have full-blown animations on here, screen transitions. So let's say, for example, you're Miss Tucker and you teach French, which is a lady I used to work with at my last high school. So you could literally have that flag saying Miss Tucker, French AP or whatever. And there'll be different transitions and so forth in here. So these places help get you your look. Out of all of them, obviously, you know I love Nerd or Die because I've already bought one of their packages. One of my favorite ones is this little arcade pop right here. I just think it's the coolest looking thing in the world. And then Own 3D, I don't really care for them as much, but Placeit is quickly becoming one of my favorites, and I'm probably going to subscribe to videos now. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, all this information you now have access to. Obviously, you can go back and you can watch these videos because honestly, you're drinking from a fire hose right now. This is about a year's worth of research for me. I've been working very, very hard to try and take my presentations to a completely different place so that when students watch me, they then come back and are just like, oh my gosh, Mr. B, are you on Twitch? Are you, blah, 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 blah. You look professional. And I'm like, because I am a professional. And really, that's where we want to be, right? I mean, we're career and technology education teachers. We should teach people to be able to go get jobs. And as I showed you, Mike's your pal, my little buddy Mikey. He's doing Twitch for a living right now. These guys are making more money than you and I'll see for a number of years. They're making a lot of money. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you ever do have any questions, please keep in mind that, and I got my information here for you. What was, if you ever have any questions, ladies and gentlemen, shoot me a line. I'm on paratutor.com. I also have Paratutor at Yahoo. I am on Facebook and YouTube, at least I will be. And then, of course, my email address is jbishop@putnamcityschools.org. Hope you enjoyed this presentation and that it was actually valuable for you. You actually learned something from it. I tried to give everything to you as much as possible, as quickly as possible, and yet keep it relatively simple. You know, simple's good. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your CTE conference, and hopefully next year we'll be able to do this together.